Welcome back to a Bar in Skyrim. My name is Ricky, and this is Daniel. Last week, we did the only cure and got a fancy new shield, which is currently on display at the Snow Elf Hut. And this week, I thought we'd deal with another Daedric prince, this time in the form of Meridia. Oh, that was smart. There we go. Yeah. Ooh, I hear something else. That doesn't sound good. We're headed to the shrine thing. Let's see. Oh, it's a troll. Get around it. Let's get around it. Get around it. Careful. I want its troll fat.
Look at my temple lying in ruins.
Sure.
So much for the constancy of mortals, their crafts and their hearts.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
If they love me not, how can
And then there's a
my
tree
love
here.
reach them?
It's a good point. I mean, it's not really how deities should work, but...
Restore to me my beacon, that I might guide you toward your destiny. It is time for my splendor to return to Skyrim.
Okay.
But the token of my truth lies buried in the ruins of my once great temple.
You say
Now
so.
tainted by a profane darkness skittering within.
Sure.
Valkyrin has forced the doors shut. But this is my temple, and it responds to my decree.
Okay.
I will send down a ray of light. Guide this light through my temple, and its doors will open.
Sure. Oh, hey, look, all those rocks are gone now. So, basically, all there is to this quest is a dude named Malkarin who has raised a bunch of people who died during the war, during the Civil War. He's raised them, sort of, back to life, but not kind of. They're not, you know, like how you or I, that's empty. Like how you or I might raise the dead here. Sure, you know what? Let's pick this lock. Oh, that was worth it because my lockpicking went up. Basically, Malkarin is doing some bad stuff, and the Daedric Prince Meridia wants us to go in and stop him from doing that by killing him and retrieving Dawnbreaker, which is one of my favorite weapons in the game. It's not a particularly powerful sword. Like, obviously, there are swords that do more damage. Although not that any of that matters, because really, if you mod or enhance it, or whatever it's called, temper it, that's the word I'm looking for. But yeah, this is actually a fairly easy-ish dungeon. I mean, it's not... It's not uber difficult. And I leveled up. Awesome. Probably shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. Because of what else we might do today, depending on how long this takes, or possibly next week. Requires a level up to get to the next bit of it. Come on, stop breaking lockpicks. You're going to have to go buy a bunch. There we go. Take it more seriously than that. Well, that wasn't worth it in the slightest. Okay, so now we're outside. And her little light beams will jump all around. And the boss chest for this particular place is an expert locked thing. So we're just gonna... Nope. Not even going to waste my time trying to pick it. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. I think this dungeon is a great example of... I talked about this in the past. Of like dungeons that I think take forever, but in fact take like 5 minutes. Way shorter than you expect it to be. Hey, look at that. I finally hit them together. There's another one over here, too. Get over here. It's also another one that's particularly easy to stealth your way through, like we talked about last week. Except the end, which is quite difficult to stealth your way through. The actual boss is hard to kill stealthily. Also, all the dead bodies in here all have gold on them. So, not like it's a lot of money, but like... And the Imperial soldiers have more money, typically, than the Stormcloaks, which I don't know if that's a clever little hint at the fact that the Empire pays their soldiers better, or if it is utterly devoid of any meaning. I don't know. If it is intentional, and it seems like it would be intentional, then I think it's a nice touch. On the other hand, it's still meaningful, whether, you know, intent matters, but at the same time, you know, I can read a story and I can read it differently than someone else, and that's okay. I can get something different from it. So, I think it's okay that occasionally, like, the Stormcloak here only has 40 gold, and maybe they weren't intentionally trying to say something about it, but they wind up saying something about it anyway. I think that's kind of fun. That's the kind of thing that I like about stories, not just in video games, but video games do it a lot. They don't always intend to do stuff, and yet, here we are, talking about it anyway. Also, fun fact, the first time I did this, this boss handed me my butt like 5 times. I wound up having to leave and come back. That's not a joke. I wound up having to be like, well, no, I'm done. I think we'll be okay, but we'll have to see. Move, move. Dawnbreaker fell out. We're gonna get 2 Dawnbreakers. There we go. Where's Malker and Shade? Okay, good. Alright. Well, that was way easier than the first time I did this. Okay. So there's Dawnbreaker 1. Okay. Let's take Dawnbreaker 2.
Malkoran is vanquished. Skyrim's dead shall remain at rest. This is as it should be. This is because of you.
Cool.
A new day is dawning, and you shall be its herald.
Sweet! Also, let's get a new word of power while we're up here. One I will never use. I never use it. I've never found it to be all that good. So that was the Break of Dawn, but we are now going to do the Man Who Cried Wolf, which just means to clear out Wolfskull Cave, because that is something else that we have to do. So basically, this dude from Dragonbridge went to the Court of Solitude and was like, hey, there's some weird stuff happening up in Wolfskull Cave. And then Falk, the steward of Solitude or whatever, was like, hey, we should send someone over there to look into it. And guess who got to look into it? If you guessed Daniel, you're right. So, anyway. So, hang on. Where's Dawnbreaker? So, we have 2 Dawnbreakers now. It's because I shouted at it, and I physicsed it out. Oh. Whee! Okay. Daniel doesn't play with swords, though. There is a part of me that has been thinking about maybe making Daniel, like, turning him into more of a warrior. You know? He's never, ever been... I did not mean to use both words for that. No, no one's here. Over here! Oh, Lord. Okay, hang on. Alright. Did everybody die? Okay, good. Because I wasn't really sure if that was going to work. So, throughout this entire little run, Daniel's done stuff he's never done before. He's fought. Like a lot. Now, let's switch to Fire Breath. And, you know, you have to wonder, is character growth, like, is that... Booyah! Booyah! They're summoning Potema. I don't know why that is so loud. I have no idea why that is so loud, but actual dialogue is not. But they're summoning Potema. Boom. These Necromancers might want to get on it a little bit more. Oh, no. Hang on. No, no. Yes. Bye-bye. Ow. That had to hurt. So, here's the thing about Necromancers. When you kill one of them, someone else tends to bring them back to life. It's not that great. It's quite unfun, to be honest with you. You know why I like using single word shouts? They don't have enough time to respond to it with their stupid wards.
Something is wrong. There is an intruder.
Hey, kill stealer. I mean, no, I could do both words. That would truly be my best. Now, sometimes they're up here still doing the little thing. And then they don't think to maybe not stand right near the ledge where people can just shout them off. What is this? I think that may be block. Light armor. Well, that will never happen because Daniel's never going to wear armor. That's for sure. Don't get me wrong. The idea of him wielding a sword and a shield, that may be fun. The idea of having to deal with armor to do that? No.
You've returned. Good. What did you find at Wolfskull Cave?
Some necromancers were attempting to summon and bind Potema.
Potema herself? Please tell me you stopped them.
I yelled at them a bunch and they just stopped.
You've done a larger service to the realm than you could possibly know. A resurrected Potema. I shudder at the thought.
So, the rest of this quest actually involves taking out Potema herself, but you can't get that until you can't get that until you level up. And it's this letter right here. This letter right here. That is already in his inventory. I won't get it until I level up.
If I needed something from you. Nothing. Oh, don't give me that. We have something of a vampire.
I'll see what I can do.
I don't expect you to be capable of even that.
You are not a good person. Also, you are a vampire.
You, definitely.
Like, you're clearly a vampire. So, last week I used the Dismay Shout. As it turns out, it doesn't, well, as we learned last week, it doesn't work on the Dwarven Automata, but it also doesn't work on Undead, which is why I didn't use it at all today, and it does not work on Daedra, I think, as well. Which, that's not that big of a deal. The Daedra part isn't that big a deal. It's not like we're going to face a lot of them. But I've been thinking about going and getting the other two words, and we may at some point, I don't know, but the fact is that the final siege of this game deals largely with Draugr, and I'd much rather just fling them around using Unrelenting Force than anything else, so. Pine Moon Cave. Pine Moon Cave is home to vampires, and also a very tricky way to get up. There's probably a better way, but whatever. But one of the other words is over by Labyrinthian. Because of course there'd be... No, don't use frost. There'd be wolves. But it's over in the maze area of Labyrinthian. And the second one is, or the third word rather, I guess, is... That was quick. Is alongside one of the bits of the Dagon dagger, whose name is escaping me at this juncture in time. The one that, you know, has a chance to kill... I already looted you. The one that has a chance to kill, instantly. I, cleared out the vampires.
Creatures, aren't they? Living in the darkness like they do.
You're
So
a vampire.
I prefer finery, like this. Here, for your trouble. And I suppose I should show you a little about illusion magic for free, shouldn't I?
I mean, you're clearly a vampire.
Take care of yourself, and always remember, the world is ripe with people looking to spill your blood.
Like you. Well, there are a lot less necromancers in the world than there were when we started today's episode. That is for sure. And we did get a fancy new sword, and we also got a clone of that fancy new sword, so that's pretty cool. Hopefully, next week we'll be able to finish up the Potema stuff, as long as I manage to level up and then I get the letter, and we'll have to see all about that. But hopefully that's what we'll be doing next week. This has been a Bard in Skyrim. Thank you for watching, and come back soon for more Skyrim.